All right. Oh, let's get this right. We are live. Is it working? Perfect. I think so. I need somebody to watch so that I know that it is connected and working. Anybody out there? I think I am live. There we go. I think so. All right. So, hello, everybody. I am the West Coast Medium from Nanaimo, BC on Vancouver Island. I'm going to do another live Q&A for everybody out there, just so that any people new tuning in know who I am. I'll explain my gifts quickly for you. So I am a medium, which means I can connect with people who have crossed over. I'm also an empath, but times a million, so spirit can make me see, feel, hear, and sense things other people can't. I can also feel all of the feelings of the people that are sitting with me, pretty much anybody, everywhere. Hello, everybody. I am also what I call spiritually intuitive. Others would call psychic, because there's no sense of time or space on the other side. Spirit can provide guidance or show me memories of the past if it's going to mean or validate something for someone. I'm also a medical intuitive, although I am much more cautious with that. As I've said numerous times, I would never want to worry anybody or just cause any extra stress, and there's some things we just aren't meant to know. I am also a healer, although I do reserve most of that for my family and friends, because I am new to it. It does take a lot of energy, and I don't know, I don't have enough time for the stuff I'm already doing. I don't know how I'd offer something like that as well. If you notice me kind of looking off into the corner, that is me where I'm okay with my spirit guides standing, who answer most of the questions that you do ask. I usually ask for other spirit guides to join in. I'm okay with kind of any guides joining in, so sometimes some of your guides will come and help if it's a specific question, or sometimes just specialized guides on the other side will come and help. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to questions. Look at all of you signing in. Hello. Let's see. Hi, Karen. Hi, Deneen. And Jackie. And Bev. And Cassandra. And Kara. And Jenny. And Vicky. Hello, everybody. It's nice that everybody's tuning in. It's my husband's birthday today, actually. So he's taking the kids to the park for a little bit, and then he's actually, I think, going to come back and play his new video game while I do my live video. But it's been a busy day. I didn't even do my hair. You get to see me with unstraightened hair. I think every other video I had straightened hair. All right. We got to ask questions now, everybody. Look at that. There's already 25 people watching. And none of my family. Where's my family? Thanks for not watching, family. I'll tell my hubby you said happy birthday. My husband just joined. He's supposed to be walking with the kids. But hi, Mike. I think okay, so Adolfo asks, hi, can you tell me something about my past relatives? I dream with one of them once in a while. So on a live video like this, I need you actually, I think, to be a little more specific. But normally when you dream about your loved ones, if they're interacting with you, talking to you and stuff like that, it probably is just a dream. But if they're just kind of standing there and you can feel their presence, most of the time that is like a visitation of them actually coming through. I don't know how to keep it scrolling. I don't know what I do. Oh, there we go. There we go. Allie. Allie, I think you've come for a reading before. I recognize your name. What hobby should I be doing? I feel like I should be making something. Well, if you feel you should be making something, then you should be making something. I think for you, you need to explore a few things rather than just me telling you one thing. I think you need to look at a few things, explore a few things, and be your own judge, I think. Sorry. Jackie asked, when you see someone, can you tell if they are close to the end of their time coming back to Earth? Oh, so like if they're older souls and are close to the end of when they... Well, that's a bit of a confusing question. So somebody like me, who technically I'm close to the end of living my lives, I'm living all of my lives simultaneously because time doesn't exist. So just this incarnation of me is one of the last ones I put. How do I explain that? So we kind of, because we're human, have to explain it in a way that that will make sense in a human way. So I'm living one of the last lives I will plan, but because time doesn't exist, I'm still living and learning other lives. But after this incarnation is done, then I'll move on to being a spirit guide as well on the other side. But I definitely can tell if people are old or young souls. And it's not always what you would think is obvious, but definitely, yes, I can. Hang on. Jenny says, when my mom died, I felt she came to my room and pressed down on my body. Does this happen? Yes, it does happen. If it scared you, I would hope it's not her doing it. But they usually don't mean to scare us. They just mean to kind of let us know that they're there. But more than likely, yeah, it probably was her coming to you just to let you know that she's there and she's okay. Sometimes how they interact can be a bit much for our human selves, or we don't understand it or can't interpret it properly. But more than likely, yes, it was her coming to say hi. Oh, that's a good question, Marie. Marie says, I've read about karmic debt. Do we carry karma from past lives, or is each life a fresh start? So it's not, I don't know. Karma for me, I believe in a positive type of karma. I don't believe in the negative connotations of the word karma. So that's helpful. They say yes and no, which is really, really helpful. So it's not that we carry negative things on. It's just if we don't fully learn something we had planned into a certain life, we'll have to plan something similar into another life. Maybe we'll learn it in a different way, or maybe like it didn't work for us, or the way. So like, it's like, say you took like the same math class from 3 different teachers. One teacher you really understood, one you didn't understand so much, one you didn't understand at all. So if you go to the one first that you don't understand at all, and it's like, I got none of that, and you fail the class, then you have to move on to the next one, and you go, okay, well, this teacher teaches it a little bit better. So each human life is kind of like, kind of a version of that. Like, okay, maybe I didn't get it 100%. I got some of the stuff in this life, but I didn't 100% get all of it. So then you'll plan something similar into another life, or another life will kind of be affected and change a little bit because your higher self will like, I don't like that. They just showed me, they mean this in a positive way, but they just showed me like marionettes, that your higher self is on the other side, like kind of tinkering with each different life and going, okay, they missed the boat on this life, they didn't figure it out, they're still living the life, but I don't think they're going to get it, so let me just sprinkle some of that into this life, and they'll kind of go back and forth like that. Did that answer your question? I think it was kind of a confusing answer, but why will a family member die shortly before a baby is born? That's a good question. I like your guys' questions. So a lot of the time, a family member will die before a baby's born so that their soul can go and help that baby be ready to be born into this life, and just so they'll get to know them, so they get a little bit of time with that soul before they come into this life. So a lot of the time, that's why they'll just want to connect with that soul, especially if you're very close to them. If it's like a parent or somebody very close to you, will want to go and spend some time. So if it's the matter of like a few weeks, like, oh yeah, I could hold on for a few more weeks to meet this baby on earth, your higher self thinks that, or I could pass away now and spend like 4 weeks with this baby on the other side. They're going to choose the 4 weeks with the baby on the other side. Oh, thanks, honey. Jackie says, is there hope for this crazy world? Things seem to be spinning out of control. Yes, there's a lot of hope for this world. There's a lot of hope for everything that's happening. And what? My guides say that in every life, every lifespan, every 100 years, there's something that makes it seem like this world is spinning out of control, whether it's world wars or famine or a disease, something like the plague. There's always something that makes it seem like this world is going to come to an end. And that's because that's how we learn the best. A little bit of pressure helps us learn. The world is definitely not spinning out of control. A lot of things, though, I think are coming to the forefront because it's time we get pushed a little harder to move in a different direction than we've been moving for the past couple of decades. But I see so much hope, and the other side sees so much hope, and they love what we're learning and how we're learning it. They don't put kind of the punishment view or the negative connotation on the things that we're going through. They just see it as such a great learning opportunity. So yes, there's a ton of hope. Ashley asks, can I feel negative energy in a room? Negative energy on the other side or negative energy here? Well, I'll answer both. I don't feel a ton of negative energy from the other side. I know some mediums, some people like me say it exists, that there are more negative souls. I definitely feel a lower energy from the other side sometimes if that incarnation of that person lived a negative life or hurt a lot of people. But it's not unpleasant for me. It's heavy for me and it takes a bit more energy to connect with that, but it's not unpleasant or awful by any means. Negative energy here, I can definitely tell when somebody is a more negative person or having some real personal issues or having a problem within themselves. Yes, I can tell that. I can feel that right off. I try when I go into public places to not tune into people too much because I don't think it's my right to be in everybody's head. And I also think when people are around me, they get a little bit scared. And so I try and just stay out of their personal stuff. Hey, Michelle. Yay. Have you tuned in before? I don't think you have. Leah says, do your guides ever talk about major world events that might happen in the future, like the shift that Case and Nostradamus talked about? I don't often ask about that kind of stuff just because I don't like to have really negative knowledge. Like if something really awful is going to happen, I don't necessarily like, why do I need to know that? I'd like to be as clueless as everybody else. But they will talk about major events like Donald Trump being elected president and stuff like that and what that means for our world, global warming and what that means for our world. So definitely they will talk about that stuff with me. And honestly, they'll answer almost any question I have. It's the depth of the answer or how much of an answer I get that changes with each question, but they will definitely answer just about anything. Tracy says, I saw you the other day and I wanted to ask if someone was sitting beside me from the other side but didn't want to intrude on your time. You turned around and looked at me, so I was wondering if you felt something around me too. I feel something around everybody and I always know when people are looking at me. I am totally okay with people coming up to me in public. I try and keep it kind of short, but I'm totally okay with it. Now I live in a pretty small town, so I'm going to run into people that see me on videos and stuff like that. So you should have just come up to me and asked. But more than likely, yes, I turned around and looked at you because I felt somebody with you. Where were you? Then maybe I can actually tell you. Jenny says, after the pressing down, there was a breath in my face. It was like 2 big blows in my face. It did scare me. So it probably was your mom, your loved one. So if you don't like that, you just tell her not to do that. You're okay with the touch. Maybe you're not okay with the freaky blowing in your face. Why would anybody do that? I don't know. They'll try and get your attention however. How many am I missing? Holy. Okay, hang on. Where was I? Yeah. What happens to you after you die? Liv asks, do we always linger as a spirit? Is there anywhere beyond? 100% Liv, there is somewhere beyond. Our home, where we belong, where we come from, and where we go back to exists on the other side. Oh, my dogs and my husband just came in, so it might be a little loud as they run up this. Hi, Walter. You guys have to see my boxer. I don't think I've showed him. Walter. There he is. He's my soul doggy. He's like my doggy soulmate. So yes, the other side is what exists after you die, and you go there pretty much as soon as you die. There's exceptions to that. Sometimes you'll linger in a room if everybody's there saying goodbye to you or something. Your soul will stay for a couple of minutes just to what? Contradicting me as I'm talking. Okay, so even if your soul does stay, again, time doesn't exist. So that time that they're in the room, even if it's 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, you're already on the other side as well. Because as soon as you die, you have full consciousness of what happens on the other side. Do you guys want to see the birthday boy? Hey, Mikey, come say hi. He's nervous. He's never been on a video. Here he is. That's my husband. Say hi.
Hello.
A bunch of people are saying hi. A couple people said happy birthday. Oh, somebody said hi, Walter. Oh, Cassandra.
There. Is that good?
Yeah, you can go now. Okay. I'm behind on questions. Danny asks, what is your take on indigo children, or the thought that certain people are sent here specifically to raise the overall consciousness of humanity? I would be one of those children. My mom did a video with me the other day, and one of the questions that was asked is, were there indications when I was young? And she phoned me a couple days later and she's like, oh my gosh, there was the biggest indication and I never even thought of it. Growing up, I could not stay awake past 5 p.m. I was so tired by the end of the day. They searched for medical reasons why and couldn't find out any reasons for why I was like that. But I was asleep by 5 p.m. and I was awake by 5 o'clock in the morning so I could have time alone in the morning. And it was because I was absorbing energy all day long, filtering people's energy. And it exhausted me. There was no medical reason for it. But definitely there's people that are born with more consciousness of the other side and what we're able to do on the other side, the love that exists there, and gifts like mine to slowly bring a higher consciousness to the world. They say kind of the first record of that, I think people aren't going to like this, especially not religious people, is Jesus. Jesus was born with some consciousness. I don't know if he had full consciousness growing up, but at some point he acknowledged it and was able to do all the things you do on the other side. Unlike in the Bible and stuff, though, they're making me choose my words carefully. He was a person like me or people like me rather than somebody that needed a book written about him for everybody to follow for the rest of time. Mary asks, why do I act in ways which are not enlightened even though I know it is not for the best? Because that is the human condition and that is how we learn, is by acting differently. Let me tell you, I still get angry. I still yell at my kids. I still have a struggle with patience and other things like that. That's how we learn as humans, is by seeing and feeling and doing the negative at times. If everything is love and light and rainbows and unicorns, you're not going to learn very much. I had asked, my husband couldn't speak the last days of his life. Is it true that hearing is the last sense that goes? You know, I don't know the answer to this. So they say actually hearing never does go, because your soul can hear even when your physical body can't. Whereas, and you can still respond to it. Whereas if you can't talk and can't see, your soul can't do anything about that. But if you can hear them, you can maybe move and respond to them. But definitely hearing does not go. You cross over to the other side, usually being able to hear, because it's your soul listening rather than your physical body. Debbie asks, can a close friend come back as your own child? Yes. Musa says, I speak French. Where are you from? Jackie likes my answer. Well, you're welcome. Irina asks, since we're living many lives at once, will we ever meet ourselves living a different life? You know, this is something I've been wondering lately, because if it's true what they've told me, that there are not millions of souls on the other side, you would think we'd have to. I don't think we'll ever be conscious of that. So the answer is not no, but the answer also isn't yes, because you will never be aware of it, because that would... They're joking, but they say it would wreak havoc, but it would derail what was going on, and it would be very confusing as a human to be able to see that. Marie says, are we allowed to record our readings with you? Yes, I'm okay with voice recording. Weirds me out if somebody like actually physically records me and I get really, really awkward. So voice recording on your phone or on a recording device, 100% fine. Recording my face, I think it would be weird. Even though I do videos, but I don't know. I feel like it would be weird, somebody just watching me over and I don't know. I just would feel really awkward. Casey, if you feel like you have intuitiveness or mediumship powers, how do you know when you are ready to explore those? My dad was always very intuitive. You know, I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that question, because it took me a long, long, long time to accept my gifts because of just where I was at in life and how I felt about this type of thing. When I kind of turned to religion when I was younger, it really was seen, and maybe that's why I turned to religion, because I was in such denial of who I was, but it was really seen as more of a negative thing rather than a positive thing, kind of something to be prayed out of you a little bit, not all of it, just parts of it, but definitely if you think you are and you have signs that you are, usually you are. You know, most people are slightly intuitive. To the extent where I am, you 100% would know from when you were very young that you are like this. But kind of, I don't like your word. Give me another word. Not as strong gifts. They said lesser gifts, but I don't think that's a good word. But just not as strong gifts. You might not be aware of it as early as I was. Cassandra says, hi, Walter. Hi, Jenny. Oh. Mike, Ben says, hi, fatty. I think you must have seen your picture. Oh, Mike might be out of the room now. Hi, Rhonda. Karen says, when I was at your house for a reading a while ago, Walter started growling at me and your two little dogs kind of sat in front of me as if to guard me. Could that have been a negative energy around me? No, with Walter, it is if you have a cat energy around you at all. He is very scared of cats, both in the physical world and on the other side. And I think now he's growled at 4 people that have a cat energy on the other side. The other thing it can be is if you're really, really nervous about spirit, because then the spirit presence is much higher here, and he can really feel that. But usually he calms down, and my other dogs don't have any tolerance for that because he's the lowest on the food chain here, and so they speak up and take care of it. Hi, Lindsay. Oh, Sherry, you tuned in finally. Michelle says, Amber, are any of my grandparents ever around? The most recent passed a couple of years ago. Is he near my mom and her sisters? Oh, your grandpas, not grandparents. They're always around because that's how it works. They never go anywhere really. Well, they do, but they don't. They can be everywhere all at once. Is he near my mom and my sisters? He is more near 2 of them. So I don't know. There's 3 or 4? But yes, all the time they're always around us. Without a doubt, without fail, they're always around us. Hey, Terry Bennett joined. Hi, Terry. Leah Brackett says, hi, Amber, do you see me in a relationship soon? Right now, I think you need to, they say you're not going to like this answer. You need to do a little focusing on yourself and your energy, because the person you're going to attract right in this moment is not going to be the person you would stay with forever because of where your energy is at. So you need to do some self-love work, building yourself up so you feel 100% worthy of the perfect relationship for you. Shannon says, hi, I've seen shadow figures around my house fairly often, but the only one that scared me was when I saw a huge dog figure. Do you know what this might be? I've never had a pet dog that big. Shadows, seeing them out of your peripheral and walking by usually are just spirits. I don't know what the huge dog figure. Trying to get them to answer, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think they're showing me it was like a trick of light or something, like of how something was reflecting somehow. But anytime anything scares you from the other side, that goes for everybody watching. Anytime something scares you or makes you uncomfortable, you just ask them not to do that or to leave you alone, and they won't do it again. You have all of the power. Pam asks, finite souls, where do they come from? What is a soul's purpose? Is there an end? In as much as there can be an end, there is an end eventually, but on the other side, each end is a new beginning, if that makes any sense. Thanks for being cryptic. That does not help a human. They think it does. So there's your answer. Within each end is a new beginning. So technically, it's kind of like a revolving door of soul energy. So it doesn't technically end. Valerie says, does fame exist on the other side, or is that strictly a human thing? I don't know the answer to that either. Strictly a human thing. Fame does not exist. They don't put one above the other. You guys are quick today. Joanne says, can my mom who passed communicate through dreams? Yes, very much, although usually they don't communicate. They don't talk a lot when it's a visitation. They just let you feel their presence. But most definitely she can have visitations through dreams. That's a long one. Hang on. The long ones, I don't know how to make them show up. They never show up. Catherine says, when going through a difficult time several years ago, I was asleep and felt a presence in the room with me, but could not get my eyes open. I heard a man's voice in my head saying everything will be all right. I've always, I think you're going to say, wondered what that was. I think it was actually one of your guides coming through and letting you know that things were going to be okay. Hey, from Georgia. Hello. I've always wanted to go to the South. She says, hello from Georgia. I dream constantly. What can I do to stop them? Everybody dreams. You can't really stop them. You can maybe filter them. You can ask your guides to filter good/bad dreams and separate them. So if there's something you're dreaming about that's stressing you out, you can ask your guides to help that stop. But you can't stop your dreams. That's your mind keeps going. Well, okay, there was 4. I wasn't sure, Michelle, if there was 3 or 4. Ronnie and Nitro asks, hi Amber, when we die, do we still have the same name on the other side? We don't really own names on the other side so much. I think your higher self will have a name, but you don't own names that much. That's why I never get names. But I think that's a personal thing because I'm also horrible with names here. I never remember people's names. But you can have a name, you can have whatever you want on the other side. So if there's a name you really identify with, you can keep it. A side note, Ronnie, are you related to me? Because the Nidros is all my side of the family. I saw that you liked my page and was wondering if you are related to me. Jackie says, can we go to a fabulous concert on the other side with all of the greats? Yes, you can. You can manifest anything you want on the other side. Ben, you get to see me every day, so just ask questions when you have questions. The downside of seeing me every day and me out in public is a lot of the time I keep my gifts off. So sometimes it actually works a little better to text me when you know me. That does not go for everybody. Don't everybody be texting me, but yes, because I know you shoot me a text if there's a question you have. Or when I'm booking again, book a reading. Lynn, again, it's another long one, and I don't know why. Maybe I'll go through after and I'll maybe type some short answers to the really long ones because it doesn't show up properly. Michelle asks, is it the same with dogs that passed? Can they visit? Yes, definitely they can visit in your dreams, of course. Trev asks, do our family members try to communicate to you when we say hi to you on here? Actually, no, because before the reading, I asked, because right now, say there's 77 people watching. So let's say each of those people only had 2 dead people, which would be unheard of. That would be like 140 people standing in my living room with me. And I don't think that would be very fun for me. It would be really confusing and chaotic. And so I ask my guides I ask guides to come forward because they don't overwhelm me. And even if all of your guides show up, they speak through my dominant guide. And so it's really easy for me if all of your loved ones show up. And that's why I don't answer a ton of personal questions. Because if I tune into one person's loved ones, everybody else is going to be like, hey, you talked to theirs. Why can't you talk to me? They asked a question too. So my guides they run a pretty tight ship when it comes to doing these types of things. Because I would get really overwhelmed really easily. Oh, I like the little hearts that float across the bottom. That's kind of cool. Can you tell I'm not very tech savvy? Heidi asked, would they show signs using things like ladybugs? Yes, ladybugs, butterflies, all kinds of things. And things you wouldn't think of sometimes too. Oh, look at sending me more hearts. That's so nice, everybody. Thank you. Aw, look at all the love. I love it. But yes, they'll definitely send you signs. Yeah, Ronnie, I think you are related to me too. Like all the Nidros in like Bella Coola and stuff like that. That's my family. Gwen asks, from Saskatchewan, hello, I've lived there too. Do we actually meet up with loved ones who have passed when we go to the other side? Yes, of course we do. They're the first ones to greet us. They're on the other side waiting for us with a big party or whatever it is you want to see. For me, it will definitely 100% be a Christmas party because as my husband or any of my family can attest, I am Christmas crazy. I start listening to Christmas music in August, but I pretend I don't start listening until September. But really, it's like the beginning of August. The other, Karen asks, it's another long one, and he's annoying me that I can't see them. Like, how is that possible that oops, nope, that didn't work. The other day when I was standing in our hallway talking to my hubby who was watching a hockey game, music started playing from the closet. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Husband heard it too, so I know I wasn't going crazy. So if there wasn't something in there that could play music, it was probably one of your loved ones saying, hey, how's it going? Oh, weird. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you think our grandfathers may have been cousins, but I have not confirmed it. You know what? Maybe they are. Chantel says, I see orbs all the time on my baby's video monitor. Babies are very connected to the other side, so a lot of the time they'll have a lot of spirits and their guides because they can still communicate with their guides at those young ages, like crib kind of age. They'll have a lot of them helping them out through every day, and so they will show up. If you are open to it and acknowledge that that is what it is, they will show up in that way. Lindsay says, what is it when I see little glimpses of sparkly light in my peripheral vision? Sometimes it's a certain color, like a silver or blue. So Lindsay, just because I know you, and she must have known you were coming, your mom is here, even though I tell people, I just explained that I don't allow that, but because your mom is already acquainted with me, she thinks that she deserves to be here. And it's definitely her. She's just trying to make you feel her in any way she possibly can. Mary asks, if we are living many lives at once, why does spirit even exist? I'm not sure I fully understand that question, because how would we live these lives if spirit didn't exist? We are under this strange assumption that this physical body is us, and this is the most important thing, and this is what runs our life and keeps us healthy and keeps us connected and keeps us whole. And that is so not true. It's our spirit and our energy that does that. That's what holds our body together, holds our life together. Jen, no, Dylan did not show up, but actually he showed up before the video. And because of his energy and how bouncy he gets, he had to take a back seat. Melody asks, are your guides always one of your loved ones that have passed or other spirits? Actually, they're very rarely your loved ones that have passed. They're almost always other spirits. They're spirits that have lived their lives, are very enlightened, and are now a guide as a job. They say it's not the same as like a job here. They don't really like the word job because to them it's not a job. It's like me. To me, this isn't my job. This is my life. It actually irritates me a little bit when people call it my job, even though I know it is a job and I do get paid. So technically it's a job, but to them it's not a job. It's their life, and they've earned that position, and it's a very sought after position on the other side, and so very rarely is it actually your loved ones. The few times it will be loved ones is if, say, you have a young one who passes from cancer, or a young one who say was in a wheelchair all their life and died quite young. Sometimes that's their final life. They live it just to teach, and they'll go right into being a guide. Oh, but they say a lot of the time they won't be your guide because because that would be like a conflict of interest, but they will go right into being somebody's guide. Sorry, I'm wiggling the iPad with my hand. Hello from Seashell. Yes, Ben, I agree. You and Michelle should book a reading. Michelle says, can you invite your guides? Do you mean, can you invite them to come forward and help you? If so, then yes, you can. Shelley says, can dogs see things we can't? Dogs can definitely feel things we can't. My dogs feel spirit so strongly. They feel energy very strongly. If somebody comes to me that's not being honest with themselves, or they have what I call their insides don't match their outsides and they're really struggling, my dogs definitely get stressed. Liz says, thoughts on deja vu. Deja vu is just your soul on the other side telling you you are right on track and you're in the right place at the right time. And this is something you had planned. You're welcome, Lindsay. Joseph says, do you use a prep meditation before doing a reading? If so, what kind? Yes, I say kind of a general meditation. I've held it up before, but it's backwards. But it's just a short prayer asking everybody to come forward, that it's just all really good energy, love and light, asking my guides to help. And then I go into an actual personal kind of prayer to do with the person who's coming. So Spirit lets me know what they're going to need, what's going on with them. Their loved ones can show up at that point, although they show up way before sometimes. Lindsay, or actually Dylan as well. And so, yeah, it's very tailored personally to each person. And then I also ask if I need anything, and I express a ton of gratitude for my life and for what's going on for me. Trish Tracy says, do you allow other people to sit in on an appointment with you? No, I don't. Everybody who comes will get a reading. I cannot control. I can't say to Spirit, okay, the person sitting here, this is who I want to do the reading for, but the person sitting there, we're not going to do a reading for them. We're going to ignore them. I can't do that. If you're here, you're getting a reading. So no, I can't let people sit in. Pam Middleton says, is there a higher position than a guide? Yes. So a higher position that's lived a physical life, maybe not. So there's angels, but they, as far as I know, have not lived a physical life. And then there's the highest energy that exists. I still call that energy God, although I don't necessarily go to church all that often anymore. But it's whatever you believe that highest energy is. People call it different things. God, a what? Source energy is apparently a thing that people call it. Never heard of that, but it makes sense. But all different kinds of things. So all the religions that have a belief that something governs them, a highest energy, that exists. I just answered that. Is there a difference between guardian angels and guides? Yes, there is. Angels have not lived a physical life. They can take physical form. They can come to Earth and pull somebody out of a car wreck or be there for somebody in a moment of need, but then they'll go back to the other side. Chantel says, my young daughter has cancer. I wonder who her guides are. I don't know that I'll tune into her guides right now because it probably would be a little bit heavy, but just talk to them. Talk to them. They're okay with you making up names for them because usually when you make up names, they'll actually nudge you in the right direction and give you their actual name, and just talk to them, help them to guide her and give her strength, and just express a lot of gratitude that that she is strong enough to be going through what she's going through. And just have a conversation with them. They can be really helpful. Jody says, my dad has been palliative for many months. Even before the diagnosis, our dog who once loved him does not enjoy visiting with him anymore. Why is this? He may just sense that, things it might make him sad and depressed. They can have those kind of feelings, and he might sense that things have changed. And it might be a little uncomfortable for him energy-wise. Michelle asks, how do you invite your guides? You just ask them, and they will come. Thanks, Kim. Adina says, can spirits make objects move as I'm watching you and I fell off my counter and no one was in the kitchen in the last 10 minutes? Yes, they can. You should try living in my house. Everything's always moving and changing and things are falling, and yes, they definitely can. I don't know how long I've been talking. It doesn't say. I think for a while. I skipped it. And now, it's doing the light and dark thing again. Don't do that. My guides mess with the lighting on the iPad. On the iPad? Now it's flashing. Stop it. Stop it. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Casey. 33 minutes. Sorry, I'm just looking through to see. I think I have done most of the questions. Some of the personal ones I did skip over. If I know it's going to be too heavy or that I'm going to have to tune into loved ones that can kind of drain my energy at night. I'm doing these at night just because it seems to work for a lot more of you. But I'm very much a morning person. I'm definitely not a night person, so I don't like to have my energy drained too much. I think I've answered all the questions, mostly. Yeah, I think so. Well, it's awesome that so many of you guys are watching these. I know, Glenn, the light thing, I don't know, they just... Oh, Lindsay says, what are your thoughts on ghost finder apps? Can spirit use it as a tool? I have never heard of that. My guides say if it's somebody like me doing it or somebody connected, that it's an okay idea. If it's just an average person, the energy that you're going to connect to might be that lower energy that's a bit harder to connect to and might not be so good for you. So maybe could be a tool, but definitely a tool to use with some caution, a lot of preparation, and a lot of cleansing of whatever area it is that you're going to do it in. Darcil, is that how you say your name? My son said he has a ghost in his room, and he said a red ghost. Does red mean anything? My husband and I showed him pictures of our loved ones of the past, and he picked out Uncle Larry, who I was very close to. And I see, and again, I can't finish reading it. Oh, probably. If he's young, yeah, he probably did see your Uncle Larry, because that's how young people are. They're quite connected. I don't think red means anything necessarily. It might just be how his eyes interpreted it. I see sometimes energy very rainbow-like. I get to see colors sometimes that don't exist. My daughter's favorite was I actually got to see a unicorn on the other side, which was actually really cool. But yes, definitely, red is not like a bad thing. If you're thinking it's like a negative energy or something like that, it is a bit of a heavier color, but it might just be your son's interpretation of what he saw. Kim says, should I remain where I live currently? Is there a guide to tell me? I don't think you need your guide to tell you, because I already think you know what you should do. Shelley says, where do we have to go for a reading? So Shelley, unfortunately, right now I am fully booked until the end of June. I post all my cancellations on this page. During the summer, I will be posting daily or every other day and saying, oh, I have a spot tomorrow at 9:30 or at 10 or whatever. I'm going to just play it by ear for the entire summer. And then in the next month or two, I will start booking into the fall. Mike, you tell your mom to come visit you. She will if you ask her. Danielle says, how can your guides actually guide you? So sometimes we're not meant to be able to listen to them, but they will come through as our gut instinct. So just listen to your gut, listen to what it's telling you and which direction it's going in. And they say some people do the opposite of what their gut is telling them, so that's not always the best idea. But honestly, unless you're connected in some way to the other side, you really have to trust your judgment and trust your human instinct and your own intuition, and your guides will use that to help you to make the right decisions in your life. Hey Heather, you got to join right at the end. Leah says, what are your thoughts on seeing 1111 all the time? 11, stop flashing. It really distracts me. I'm not kidding. I like you guys, but stop it. 1111 is a very spiritual number. Repetitions, oh my gosh. Does everybody see the flashing, or is it just me? Let me know. 1111, 222, 333, 444, all very spiritual numbers. A lot of the time it's just your guides or your loved ones saying, hey, we're here. It's very easy for them to nudge us to look at the clock at a certain time or look at a license plate at a certain time, more so than it is to move a dime or pick something up or change something or give us something. So it's just a way for them to say, hey, we're here. Celeste says, in a one-on-one reading, would you be able to provide some insight into the future of one's children, even if they are very young now? To a point, I will. Holy with the flashing. I will provide insight, or guide spirit will provide insight into their energy, the things they need from you in order to flourish and do the best. As far as your child will do this at this age, or will be this at that age, or will accomplish this in this time. No, I don't do that, because that puts really unrealistic expectations on you as a parent and on your children. But definitely I will know if your child is more sensitive, or maybe an out-of-the-box learner and needs a little encouragement there, or very gifted in some way and needs encouragement there, or struggles in some way, or needs a bit of a different touch in some way. I'll know all of that. So that type of thing, 100% I can give guidance. Well, I can't. Spirit can give guidance on. Kevin, you joined. Yay. I'm not sure. Dragos? I don't know what language that is, and I don't read it. Danielle, that's you. You do the opposite. Yes, I think a lot of people do the opposite of what their gut is telling them. Oh, Kim, it's just me that can see all the flashing. Oh, good. Celeste, you can see it. Heather, just me. Oh, sorry. Heather, your guides are like, of course you don't see it. They mean it as a joke. Kim, how can I become more in tune with my guides? Everybody can become more in tune with their guides just by asking them to help and being open to it. You can't ask them to do everything for you. They won't. They still want you to go through things as a human and in a human way. But definitely you can ask them to come forward and to help you make a decision if something is hard, or to help cleanse your mind if you're having a really stressful time or feeling kind of heavy with things. So definitely they can help with that kind of stuff for sure. All right, I probably should end it now because my children need to go to bed and come home from the park. It's starting to get dusk out there. Oh, hi Sherry. You saw the flashing too. I know it's still flashing. It's my guides. They think they're really funny when I think they just want everybody to know they're there and know I'm not like crazy and looking into the corner of the room for no reason. Maybe I'll answer just one or two more. Darcel says, do guides follow you? My son says he sees them on his window when we were driving and always says to say hi. They're always with us. Yes, we're, I was just going to use the word job. We're their job. They say no, we're like their purpose. And so of course they're always with us. Shayla says, do you get a better reading with recently deceased? Actually, no. I get a much better reading when they've been over there for a good amount of time. More so for the person sitting with me. Because if they're very recently deceased, it's very hard for the people sitting with me. And a lot of the time, they're not ready to hear what their loved one has to say because they're still in a very deep place of grieving. So actually, it's much harder. It's also... I have a lot of boundaries and rules as far as how they come through, and my guides help to protect me from certain energies or certain ways of coming through. And when they're very newly on the other side, it's a little harder for them to listen to that and to understand it. And so it can be a little more overwhelming for me and take a little more energy from me. So I prefer people, I often say they need to wait until when they wake up in the morning, they feel like they can breathe. They don't feel like life is so heavy and they're in such a place of grieving that they don't know if things will ever get better. I know it would be nice to come to me at that time because maybe I could provide you some hope, but it's better to wait until you're at a place with grieving where you're a bit more accepting. You're welcome, everybody. I like that you like listening to me now, Sherry. That's my sister. She didn't always like listening to me. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really enjoy the live Q&As. The amount of work that goes into doing a YouTube video, because I am not tech savvy, I do not have a tripod even. So I have to make like a stack of things on my table and hope that nothing moves. And I have to print up all the questions and get them in order where they seem cohesive and like they flow properly. And all of that takes time. So when I can do this and I have just an hour, I can just pop on and you guys send in your questions and I really, really enjoy it. So I'm so glad you all tune in. Oh, thanks. My voice is soothing. You know what's so funny is growing up, I keep saying I'm going to go, but growing up, I hated my voice. I loathed it. I thought it sounded like a boy's voice. When I was like 9, some little boy said, oh, did you go through puberty before me? Because they figured my voice changed. I hated it. But now that I'm doing this and am talking so much and people are sitting and listening to me talk for hours on end, there's a reason for it. There's a reason I was born with this voice. And it's because if I had a high screechy voice, it would be much harder to listen to me. But the low voice I have and the way they make me speak when I'm channeling like this is quite soothing for people. I don't speak exactly the same in my everyday life. If you ask anybody in my family when I'm doing a video or I'm doing a reading, the way I speak, what's it called? When your voice goes up and down, like the inflections in my voice, it's very different than my actual voice. At some point, I want to get like a brain scan when I'm doing it because I think it'd be really cool to see what's going on. Thanks for all the little hearts, everyone. It'd be awesome if you guys could comment with where you're from because I love seeing where everybody's from. And also just comment with kind of ideas to talk about in other YouTube videos or in more videos like this. And I just love all the hearts. They make me happy. Last one somebody put angry faces. That didn't make me so happy. But I enjoy the hearts. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Lots of love and light to you. And I hope you have a fabulous Friday and weekend. And now my dogs are going to bark, so I should probably go. Bye.